Hey, what's up guys? So something I've been experimenting with recently and really enjoying the results of is this idea of kind of shadow boxing for golf. So coming from a martial arts background for over 20 years, shadow boxing was one of my favorite tools. And the reason I love shadow boxing so much is because when I was fight training, it was a great way to simulate different types of fight situations and strategies and movements. But then as I got older and I moved away from the more high intensity training, shadow boxing is something that's almost become like a moving meditation for me. I mean, these are movements that I've been doing for so long and that I feel so comfortable with that they allow me to just continue using my body in that way, but without having to handle the impacts and all of the damage that I was doing with the more intense stuff. And something that I started to realize is when I'm shadow boxing, sometimes I'll go fast, sometimes I'll add some intensity to it, but I also like to really slow things down. And when you slow things down in shadow boxing, you really start to feel where the power of the movement comes from, right? So if I throw a punch really quickly, it's hard for me to understand where that power is generated from. But when I slow it down and I start to understand that I'm pushing into the ground, turning my hips, turning my shoulder, using the muscles in my back, using the muscles in my chest, and I start to feel all the muscles that are involved in creating the power in that punch. So I was thinking, how can I take that same concept and bring it to golf? So I started playing around with that, right? So I got into my golf stance and I just started moving my arms the way that they would in the golf swing. But I think the most important part, and this is something because I've spent so much time this summer working with these amazing golf pros and studying the biomechanics of the golf swing, I have a much better understanding of the importance of the weight transfer and the way that we use the ground forces to improve our power, to improve power in our golf swing, also improve control and balance. And so I started just playing around with this idea of kind of this shadow flow of the golf swing. And what I started to realize is that it helps me better understand the way that the weight moves from one foot to the other because I'm moving so slowly that I have a chance to register that information. When you're swinging full speed, it's extremely difficult to figure out what's going on with your feet, what's going on with your legs, what's going on with your core, because you're so focused on that impact that you're not really thinking about all of the different movements and all of the different parts that are working together to create that power and to create that speed and to create that swing. And so by slowing it down and forgetting the equipment, there's no ball, there's no club, it's just you and the movement. It's a really cool way to kind of figure that out. And then hopefully you can take that information and bring it to your golf swing afterward. So for now, basically what I've been doing is I get into my stance and I just start moving the way that I would in my swing. So I'm using my arms here, and first thing I'm doing is I'm transferring into my back foot. And then I'm trying to figure out at which point do I want to start that transition into my left side. Again, if I'm doing this full speed, much harder to figure out, but as soon as I slow things down, I'm able to see here. I can feel this moment here where I want to transfer into my left side and start that downswing, that hip turn, and then at the end, make sure that I come up in this nice, strong, balanced, confident position, and then I can go right into the next swing. And by doing this and kind of taking away the rigidity of it and really focusing on this nice fluid motion, it becomes almost like a moving meditation. And it's giving me that same vibe that I get from those slow shadow boxing sessions that I enjoy so much with martial arts. So it's almost like I'm getting to combine these two worlds, right? Take all of that learning and all of that movement that I know so well from 20 years of coaching martial arts, and now I get to bring it into golf. So again, if you want to start playing around with something like this, it's so interesting to feel where you're at. And you might even realize a few things. You might realize like, wow, I'm not using my legs enough. Wow, I am not engaging my core enough. Or wow, I am really stiff in my back or my legs or whatever it is. I think it could be a really great way to explore the movements of a golf swing in a really safe way and kind of figure out where your limitations are, where your restrictions are, and then also better understanding your connection to the ground and how you can use that connection to create more speed, more power, more control of your golf swing. Okay, so if that's something you'd like to play around with, I'd love to hear it in the comments if you've done anything like this before. I'm gonna try to come up with something a little more structured where I kind of explain the step-by-step process. But honestly, this is pretty new. This is something I just started doing, so I just thought I would introduce it, see if people kind of connect with the idea. And if you do, please leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. And please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Have an amazing day. Peace. Yeah, that was cool. I like that.